heart of the countryside, where the amber waves of grain met the dark embrace of the forest, there stood an old farmstead. It was a relic of a bygone era, abandoned and forgotten, yet its presence lingered like a ghost in the landscape. The farmstead's farmhouse, weathered and worn, bore the scars of time. Its once vibrant paint had faded to a dull, peeling facade, and its windows stared out like empty eyes, reflecting the desolation that surrounded it. The fields, once lush and green with life, were now overgrown with weeds and tangled vines, reclaiming the land inch by inch. But amidst the decay, there stood a solitary figure, a sentinel of straw and cloth. The Scarecrow loomed over the fields with an air of eerie stillness, its ragged form twisted and contorted in the breeze. Its empty eyes seemed to watch over the land with a silent vigilance, casting a shadow of dread over all who dared approach. Legend had it that the Scarecrow was more than just a guardian of the crops. It was said to be cursed, its straw-stuffed form imbued with a malevolent spirit that had long haunted the land. Tales of strange occurrences and unexplained disappearances had plagued the surrounding countryside for generations, all traced back to the silent sentinel that stood guard over the farmstead. But despite the warnings whispered by the wind, there were those who dared to venture into the fields in search of answers. Among them was a group of adventurous teenagers drawn by the allure of the unknown and the promise of adrenaline-fueled excitement. Leading the group was Alex, a fearless thrill-seeker with a penchant for uncovering the truth behind local legends. With him were his friends, Sarah, the skeptic who scoffed at the idea of curses and spirits, Mike, the joker whose laughter echoed through the fields, and Emma, the quiet one whose keen eyes missed nothing. As they approached the abandoned farmstead, the air grew heavy with anticipation. The Scarecrow loomed before them, its empty gaze fixed upon the intruders. Ignoring the warnings whispered by the wind, the teenagers pressed on, determined to unravel the secrets hidden within the decrepit farmhouse. With each step, the atmosphere grew more oppressive, as if the very land itself resisted their intrusion. The farmhouse loomed before them, its windows boarded up and its door hanging askew on rusted hinges. With bated breath, they pushed open the door and stepped into the darkness within. What they found inside was beyond their wildest nightmares. The farmhouse was a twisted labyrinth of decay, its walls adorned with strange symbols and faded photographs. As they explored further, they stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading down into the earth below. Driven by curiosity and a sense of foreboding, Alex led the way into the depths of the farmhouse's secrets. At the bottom of the staircase, they found themselves in a cavernous chamber, illuminated only by flickering torches and the pale glow of moonlight filtering through cracks in the ceiling. And there, at the center of the chamber, stood a solitary figure. It was the Scarecrow, its form elongated and distorted, its straw limbs contorted into unnatural angles. But what truly chilled them to the bone was the silence that hung heavy in the air, a silence so profound it seemed to swallow their very thoughts. With a sinking feeling in the pit of their stomachs, they realized the truth behind the Scarecrow's silent vigil. It was not merely a guardian of secrets. It was a keeper of souls, bound to the land by a curse as old as time itself. In a desperate bid for survival, the teenagers fled from the farmhouse, their hearts pounding with terror. Behind them, the silence of the Scarecrow lingered like a curse, a reminder of the darkness that lurked within the shadows of the abandoned farmstead. They ran blindly through the fields, the darkness swallowing them whole. But no matter how far they ran, they could not escape the relentless pursuit of the Scarecrow's curse. Suddenly, A piercing scream cut through the night, freezing them in their tracks. They turned to see one of their own, Ethan, gripped in the grasp of the Scarecrow's twisted fingers. With a sickening crunch, his body was torn apart, his screams echoing into the night. Horror and disbelief washed over the group as they watched their friend's lifeless body crumple to the ground. Fear gripped them like a vice, paralyzing them with terror. They knew they had to escape, to warn others of the horror that lurked in the fields. With tears in their eyes, and Ethan's death weighing heavy on their hearts, they fled into the night, leaving behind the farmhouse and the silent sentinel that guarded its secrets. But even as they ran, they could feel the curse of the Scarecrow following close behind, its hunger insatiable, its wrath